Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. First of all, please remember to smash that like button. I can see a lot of you are doing so, so really do appreciate it. The support has been fantastic. If you are watching or listening on a podcast platform, then do also leave us a rating or review. It does help out a lot. Of course, we are growing, not just on YouTube, but on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. So your guys' help is really crucial to us growing and getting it out there to more people who can then become fans of Quality Shot. Not just fans, family. Right, okay, let's get into this. So I really want to talk about the WTA Madrid Open. Of course, the ATP side has started as well, which has been great. Of course, we've had some crackers. We had Team versus Murray. That was a great first rounder. Can't get any better than that. But I wanted to go through some of the results for the women's side because all the seeds are falling down, falling down, falling down. All the seeds are falling down. And that's it. That's what I have to say, really. No, in all seriousness, though, like genuinely, it's been crazy to see the top 10 in the world. Only the number 10 seed, or number 10 in the world even, is still in the draw. So a couple of players haven't played because of injury, like Krejcikova, for example. That's fine, get that. But then we've had, of course, and Swiatek obviously is injured as well. She must be looking at now, though, Swiatek, saying, tell you what, may as well just played it, even if I was a little bit injured or fatigued. She must be. So I'm going to go through some of the quick results and some of the surprise ones. But yeah, it's been an interesting, a very interesting tournament. So, I mean, you can see here Pliskova straight away off the bat, losing in straight sets in her first round match. I mean, that wasn't a massive surprise. She's not the best on clay, although she did make the Rome final last year. She did get double bageled, though, by Swiatek. So it's kind of like she's either pretty good on it or she's terrible on it. So, okay, not a huge surprise. She hasn't been in the best of form this year anyway, Pliskova. And I think in all seriousness, it's not going to be her, her surface where she potentially may win a Grand Slam. I don't think anyone thinks she's going to make a ridiculous run at Roland Garros, make the final there. I'd be very surprised if she makes a final in her career up there. I wouldn't be surprised if she makes a final at Wimbledon, like she did last year. Wouldn't be surprised if she makes a final at any other Grand Slam either. But Roland Garros, no. Anisimova, look at this. I mean, she just keeps on demolishing Sabalenka in their head-to-head. Sabalenka yet to beat Anisimova. So 4-love it is now the head-to-head. Absolutely crazy. To be fair to Sabalenka, not a terrible match. I mean, 8 double faults, fine. But look at that first serve percentage. Win on first serve, win on second serve. Pretty good from both, actually, to be fair. Look at that in the 60s, which is great to see. Break points, you can see 3 out of 6. I mean, just having more breakpoint opportunities in Anisimova and then converting them. But it was a pretty good match. I think Sabalenka just struggles with the style, and I think maybe she struggles in the fact that Anisimova is able to... I think the issue is that Anisimova is able to hit the ball almost as hard as her, if not harder at times, and it doesn't give her much time to actually tee up her own ground strokes. On the clay, you might think, well, hold on, but then she gets that extra bit of cushion. But in Madrid, it's not particularly slow. It's a faster type of clay. So I just think in general, also if you've got such a bad record against someone, 3-love, you're not going to be particularly confident going into it. You're going to be thinking, yes, I want revenge, etc. But then as soon as she lost that first set, I think she did well to come back, recover. And then the third set, she's thinking, come on, can do this. It's so tight. And then she just got edged. And you just think, okay, a step in the right direction. But Sabalenka is a number 3 seed in this tournament. Should be doing better, yes. Not to be after making, of course, the Stuttgart Open final as well, which I thought was a great run. So disappointing. She's going to drop to at least number 7 in the world. She'll stay in the top 10, I think. And I'm hoping we just see another Stuttgart Open run. I think, look, this is just a bad matchup for her. Let's hope that she gets a better draw in the next tournament and then we see her make a run because she's exciting. I really think she is. And then Alexandrova, look, dumping out Ostapenko. I mean, that is just... That's not a huge surprise. Ostapenko obviously is the former French Open champion, winning it as a teenager, but hasn't really done much since, to be blunt, to be fair. She hasn't done much at all. Not to be disrespectful. It's just she hasn't really. And then I guess the surprise for me is Kirsty, because I never back against her, but she went out in the first round. And to be honest, my bracket has been absolutely destroyed on the women's side, to be fair. Then you can see here Pavlyuchenkova losing, of course, the French Open finalist. That's not a huge surprise to Sorribes Tormo because, one, she's very rusty. She hasn't played a lot of tennis, Pavlyuchenkova. And two, Sorribes Tormo is a very good clay courter. And we saw her, of course, and we'll get onto that, beat Osaka in straight sets. And she is an incredible just fighter on the clay. And I'll get more into her stats and her style of play when we talk about the Osaka win, because, yeah, it's really different. And it might not be the most fan-friendly or best to watch, but it's definitely something that's effective. And I rate it, to be fair. And I just rate how confident she is playing that way. And she doesn't care, really, whether, people don't like it or not. And then you can see there Andreescu, and we'll get on to her. She's made a really good run, bageling, risking the third set there of her first round match. And I've been happy with her coming through this, because it's great to see her just finally finding some form. Of course, former US Open champion. She's a real talent. She's been injured. She's struggled with mental health issues. We've now got her back. It looks like she's in a good state of mind. She's fully fit. She's raring to go. Great to see her. Yeah, and then those are kind of. I'm not really going to go through everything. I'm just going to go through the seeds, really, for the most part. Coco Golf, you can see they're making a run. And then look at this, Halep. Now, I did commentary for this on the GTL era, a GTL channel even. So Game to Love podcast. Do check it out. Do support us here, of course, but also go over there. Give them a cheeky subscribe if you like the content. And I do commentary on there for them now and then as well. Halep won in straight set at 6-3, 6-1, right? Now, Badosa, she did have a slight injury in the second set. Look, I get that, but she was just thoroughly outplayed. I mean, Halep has been playing some phenomenal tennis throughout this tournament. And for me, she's actually one of the favorites. She's won here before twice. She's won the French Open or Roland Garros. She's got Mouratoglou in her corner, who seems to have just rejuvenated and refreshed her career. I think the biggest thing for me is that Simona Halep is not strapped up. She's not wary about sliding and throwing her body around. And that seems to be quite a big part of her game, her physicality. She's not got any strapping. She looks fully fit. She's sliding around. Some of the defensive points are absolutely phenomenal from the Romanian, genuinely. And she just, everything seems to be firing. The only thing that I can potentially point towards is the second serve, but the backhand, phenomenal. I mean, some of the backhands that she's been hitting, especially against Badosa, down the line, just beautiful to watch. A great shape on it, cross court and down the line. The forehand seems to be working great at the moment. She's even come to the net and she's volleying pretty well. She's, returning really, really well. I mean, the depth she's managing to get on most returns, fantastic, into corners as well, putting the server on the back foot straight away. She's just able to play different types of points. And I don't think it's her at her best, but she's not far off it, I think, in terms of some of the form that I've seen. And that's what's been great to see. It really has. But yeah, Badosa going out. So she was my pick, actually, to win. She was my pick to win the Madrid Open after Swiatek went out. And you might think that's a bit of a basic pick. She's the number 2 in the world. So you just pick the next highest ranking player. It wasn't even that. I just thought, look, she's playing at home. She's obviously in some pretty good form. I think her draw was pretty hard, fine, but I didn't think. Did I think she'd lose to Halep? I thought it'd be difficult. I think after watching Halep in her first round match, I just thought, okay, this is going to be really difficult for Badosa, and it was, and she obviously ended up losing. Then you can see Sorribes Tormo knocking out Osaka. Now, Osaka's not actually a seed, but that's still a surprise. I think just because Osaka played pretty well in the first round. The issue that I had with her in the first round was that she wasn't making enough first serves. And then she did pretty much the same in this second round match. Let's have a look. 55%. So at one point, though, it was in the 40s. But 55% is way too low. Look at the difference between her and Sorribes Tormo. 83% first serves in. But that's not the kind of damning figure. Is this win percentage on first serve? Only 64%. Her first serve is absolutely huge, Osaka. Into corners for the most part. She should be getting a lot of 3 points. Not just 3 points, but then also backing up nicely, and she wasn't able to. And Sarah's Rivas Tormo is a really interesting case. She just tends to almost, I don't want to say moonball because it just sounds so, it's almost like a backhanded compliment, or yeah, it's like I'm leveling some type of dig towards her. But yeah, I think it's 3 was Tormo in straight sets, 6-3, 6-1. For me, I mean, the coverage that she was managing to get on it was great. I mean, she just had, what was it? I think Osaka was hitting her forehand with 55 centimeter coverage. 3 was Tormo 137. 137. But the thing is, she wasn't just looping the ball up in the air. It did have topspin on it. She was hitting it with great depth, I think, and into corners. It wasn't just down the middle of the court like a lob. It was different. It's different. She's clearly like perfected that art, and it does work well on this surface, of course, because clay is conducive to higher bouncing balls and more topspin and depth, for example. And Osaka would struggle with it for large periods of the match. Now, I was surprised she didn't adapt as well as she could have or should have, I think. But Srimas Tormo played a really good match, I thought, and kudos to her. Let's see how far she can go with that style. It's a different style, and that's what we want to see. We don't want to see everyone playing the same way, of course. It might not be the most exciting for you to watch, but I think it's great to have different styles. And then Sakari losing to Kasatkina, that was a surprise to me. Kasatkina is very, very talented, but that was a big, big surprise. I mean, to lose in 3 sets, and Sakari won the first set as well, and I picked it to go quite far, and there's something about Sakari, and I don't know what it is. Like, she'll make a lot of semis, and she'll make final. She made her first final this year. She's got the game. I wonder whether she almost expends too much energy at times. And I know she's super fit, but is it feasible for her to play at that sort of intensity all the time for potentially 2 weeks on a Grand Slam and win it? Does it? It might not be physically as draining, right? Because she's so super fit, but mentally, does it take a lot out of her as well? I just wonder. I wonder whether there's incremental gains she can make to her game. She's not the tallest of players. She's 5'7", but can she go for a little bit more on her first serve? Could she go for a little bit more on the forehand? Maybe go a bit close to the line for that 1+ shot. Could she come to the net and potentially volley? She's got great legs in terms of it getting around the court. Add play more of a drop shot. Like, do you know what I mean? Can we add more layers to her game so that she's not always feeling like I'm grinding away constantly? And longer term, she's not going to be able to play like that all the time. So it's an interesting one. I'm not quite sure what to do about her and how she... I'm not sure longer term how her game translates into tournament wins, but we'll see. We'll see. She's a real talent. I genuinely love watching her play. She's got great energy, but there's something about her that clearly is not quite clicking for a long period of time or longer periods of time. That means that she can win tournaments. She's getting relatively far in a lot of tournaments, but yeah, I'm also wondering as well. I know she's obviously climbed up the rankings since, but that Roland Garros 2021 semi-final against Krejcikova, where she was serving for the match, I think she had match points. She should have probably won that match. She plays Pavlyuchenko in the final. Both would have had nerves, but probably back Sakari in that, maybe. I don't know. She could have been Roland Garros champion. Would that have helped her? Maybe not. Maybe it would have done the opposite. Who knows? And then you can see Raducanu. I mean, that was a great win over Kostyuk. And Kostyuk's a really talented youngster. Raducanu, though, is playing some really good tennis, and it's great to see her adapt her game on the clay. I think the best thing for me is that she's added the drop shot to her repertoire, which doesn't seem to be the most natural thing to her, but she's just worked on it in the lab, as they say, a lot of the tennis commentators. And she has, and you can tell, right? It's become and looking more and more natural as the matches progress. And she's not just saying, I'm going to hit flat down the line to rush my opponent. She's saying, okay, yep, That's obviously a big plus in my game, but I need to add things on the clay. I need to go potentially even hit a lob at times defensively to then get back into the point. Or, I need to hit with more topspin and coverage, cross court, drag them out. She's very intelligent, Raducanu, and there's been a lot of talk about her coach, and I've already given my opinion on that. But put that to one side, and I think she clearly is someone with a fantastic tennis IQ, and on top of that, she's clearly someone who not only does she know how she wants to play, she is willing to adapt and learn. Whether that's by a coach or by herself, I don't know. But either way, she's clearly improving her clay court game from what I've seen. So that's what was really impressive to me. Also, her returning against Kostyuk, who's got a very big first serve. She's got a very big first serve actually for someone on the WTA tour. I think she must be in like top 20. I don't know, by the way. This is what I'm assuming that she's got maybe one of the biggest serves, or she's in the top 20 of biggest servers on tour, maybe even top 10. Fernandez, though, not managing to get it done against Teichmann, so contrasting fortunes for the US Open finalists there. And then Muguruza, this is a huge, huge upset. Muguruza, again at home in Spain, she didn't even just lose in straight sets. She got bageled. Now, I know she might not have been fully fit, potentially, they're saying, but this is a massive upset. And we saw it with Zverev in Munich. He lost to Holger Rune in the first round, and he said, the pressure of the crowd being at home. I don't get that. I don't. And the reason why I don't get it is because these guys have played in front of like tens of thousands of people in the biggest stadiums in the world. I know, I get it that playing at home could be different, but surely you just need to get on. Surely would that not help you? There's a bit of pressure there for you to win, but I don't get it. I just, do you know what I mean? I would take that energy, I think, anyway, although I'm not a pro tennis player, but I would take that positive energy and then utilize it on court. I feel like a lot of these people, they shy away from it. Feed into it. Get the crowd behind you, and get them to help you through the match. I don't know. It's a crazy one. Could that have been part of why Badosa went out? I think also she had that slight shoulder injury in the second set, but I don't think it was that. I think Halep just played phenomenally well. With Muguruza, I don't know. And then Andreescu beating Danielle Collins is a phenomenal win, by the way. Double breadstick for Bianca Andreescu over Danielle Collins. And all the people saying that Danielle Collins should be up there as a potential player to challenge for Roland Garros, I said no. This doesn't highlight my point. I think it just highlights that Andreescu's in really good form and Collins can have hot and cold days. And I think that's what happened. But I think for me, with Collins, she's just too inconsistent. And I will do a WTA power rankings video after Madrid, and then we can have a sit down. I'm sure lots of people will be like, what is this list? This is terrible. Change this, change that, which is great because that's what I want in the comment section to have a discussion. But yeah, Andreescu just really good. And then, of course, we have Anisimova knocking out another seed in Azarenka, just easy as you like, 6-1, 6-4. And then Coco Gauff going out to Simona Halep, straight sets as well. And then Ons Jabeur, who is the only top 10 player still left in the draw, wins 6-2, 6-3, 6-2. Alexandrova getting through as well. So today we've got 4 matches. Kasatkina versus Cerritos Tormo. I'm actually going to back Cerritos Tormo in that. Andreescu versus Pegula. I'm actually going to go with Andreescu. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it a lot. Teichmann, Rybakina. I don't know. Whoever you want. Rybakina. Raducanu, Kalinina. I'm going to go Raducanu. And yeah, look at that. Alexandrova versus Anisimova. And then Jabeur, Halep. What a match that's going to be for the quarterfinals. Jabeur versus Halep. That is unbelievable. What a match. That's a bit unfair as well. The reason why I say it's a bit unfair is because I'm thinking that is what I would like to see in the final. I do think those guys are potentially, well, they're definitely worthy of making the final right there at Madrid and then giving us a massive, massive like a spectacle. I mean, it would be incredible to watch. Anyways, that's all from me. Thanks very much, guys, for tuning in. We do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, do smash that like button if you enjoyed the video. Do give me your opinions as well on the WTA Madrid Open so far. What's your thoughts? Are you surprised that so many seeds have fallen? Maybe you're not. Maybe you just think, actually, no, I've done my bracket for the tournament, and actually, I didn't have any of them going through. I've got Kalinina winning the tournament. And then you might think that's a silly thing to say, Fazan. No, it's not. Kalinina could win it. She definitely could win it from what it's looking like right now. You just don't know. But yeah, apart from that, stay safe and well. Do leave a rating and review on a podcast platform if you're listening or watching on a podcast platform. Also, if you're on a podcast platform, do come over to YouTube, do subscribe, and vice versa as well. Go over to our podcast link and do leave a rating review. It really does help. We are growing a lot. And that's because of you guys. Your support is incredible. So do keep it up. It does massively help. Don't think, oh, just liking this video doesn't help. It does. It really does. Gets us up those YouTube charts and rankings, and of course on the podcast rankings as well. And then we can give you guys as good a content as possible. Who knows? Might even be able to do this full time, which would be the dream. And then, then I'll tell you what, you guys would be in for a real treat. That's for sure. Thanks very much, guys. Stay safe and well. I'll see you.